We often talk about businesses embodying the American dream, but not enough about the impact they have in their own communities. David Lewis Jr., Jarrette Atkins, and Fritz George are the co-founders of MacroBites, a meal prep service that has been hard at work to provide healthy food options to their hometown in Asbury Park, New Jersey. Having gone through the prison system at an early age, they have endured many challenges that most traditional entrepreneurs would not experience. Driven by an unstoppable will to give back in a big way, they are now providing healthy eating options to food deserts in 35 different states. We sit down to hear their incredible story. The entrepreneurial spirit is the cornerstone to the American dream, a beacon to all willing to weave their story into the fabric of our history. I'm Elliot Dweck, and this is From the Founder. The beach is down the block, Asbury Park. We got the big three. How you guys doing?
Great, man.
I'm great. Feeling good.
To be alive. This is
Feeling good.
feeling.
Happy to be here.
Good. Let's get to your friendship of you three. So you guys went to high school together. You guys were also business partners.
Yeah, you can put it like that.
You can say that.
So when you guys were in high school, you come in new kids on the block, and now it's hard to make friends and to fit in and everything. What's after high school?
A lot of drug dealing.
Yeah.
Drug dealing.
A lot of.
So now we're full time.
Part of the reason why I started selling drugs was because I was immediately in everybody's clique because I had drugs. So, it helped us fit in to our high school. We were allured by the popularity drug dealing gives you because you're the man everywhere you go because you have drugs.
Right.
The fast, accessible money, the cash, having cash every night as opposed to waiting for a check. And we were running the business. We had our distribution, marketing, all that good stuff. It was just we were applying it to something silly.
Right.
So it feels good to now be applying it to something really good.
But did you realize that you had those skills?
At the time, we didn't realize anything. We were just, in the motions doing what we were doing. But reflecting on it and sitting back and thinking about it, especially when we come up on different business challenges now, we'll go through things and I'll have a flashback of something that we were doing, selling drugs. This is the same thing.
Same exact thing.
We're doing it in a legal way now, but it's the same principle, same concepts.
We wanted to be the guy, who doesn't want to be the guy? And the only best way we knew how to be the guy was what we had been doing in our past in high school, where I got started with. I used to hang out over here. This was like a project. I think I shot my first gun over here, honestly. It was a 22.
Right here, this corner?
No, over here in these projects.
Oh, that was you shit?
How did it feel when you guys were the guys?
I mean, for me, it was from the outside, it might look good, but on the inside, it's really painful and a bunch of nonsense. Who wants to deal with people shooting at you and robbing you and, all these different things that come along with that lifestyle aren't fun. Going to prison is not fun.
Having to look
your
over your
parents
shoulder.
crying out is not fun. Your friends dying, getting murdered in the street isn't fun. None of that stuff is fun, glorious, or nothing that it looks like in a rap video. It's all terrible stuff. This is much better. We make more money now. We do it legally, and we can still be the guys. We don't have to worry about none of that other stuff. And it's a better life,
It was definitely a learning experience, though, because if we didn't go through that, we wouldn't be who we are today.
Right.
You go into that thinking that you're going to be the guy, and then once you get into it, the bigger you get, the less you actually feel like the guy.
Word. You feel threatened, man. The bigger you get, the more your life is threatened.
Yeah,
the more you have to worry, and now the bigger we get here, I'm not worried about that.
Yeah.
And that's a huge shift in lifestyle, because that lifestyle isn't fun, man. No matter what anybody.
Did you know that the bigger you got, the more threatened you would be, or
you have an idea, but you don't know until you get into it. Until somebody kicks in your door and comes and robs you, you don't know what that feels like until it happens. Till you get set up and somebody, jumps you. You don't know what that is until it happens to you. And, for me personally, I didn't even have to be doing that. I was from a military family. It's not like we were struggling for our last dollar in the streets. We were good. My family was okay. We were good to go. I didn't have to do that. I wanted to. So I willingly went and put myself in a bunch of crazy positions, put myself into prison. And thinking back, it's for what, man? I could have been doing what we're doing now. I could have got a head start on that. I didn't have to be in my 30s to start doing this.
Do you guys feel like prison saved you guys?
Me personally, I know it did for a fact.
Was there a moment in prison where you felt like there was an epiphany, where you said, hold on, like I gotta change something in my life? Or was there a time of realization, or was it slowly over a few years you realize, okay, I want to do something differently?
And for me, it was a immediate realization. The first time I got robbed because I didn't want to gangbang, because in Jersey, all the prisons ran by gangs. So if you're not bumming home, you're not getting down with something, you're immediately food. You know, if you don't know somebody, you're getting extorted ASAP. If you're white and you're not a skinhead, you're getting extorted. If you're black, you're not blood, Crip, something. You have to be something. And I didn't want to be nothing, because I wasn't from none of that.
Right.
So that set me up to be the person who has to fight for my stuff all the time. So after that first ass whooping, I was like, oh no. I gotta fight for my food. I don't want this. I know how not to do it.
Yeah, so now you get out. Now what?
We all just go get jobs and then fumble around.
Pretty much.
Fumble around for a little while.
Thinking about going back to that lifestyle a couple of times, because things wasn't working out. We're felons. It's not easy for us to get jobs.
Yeah, how was it like re-entering into society?
Exactly how people say it is. You know, you can't get a job, you can't get a lease for an apartment if you're in any of these complexes. You know, even if you do have money, you can't get these things, you won't get accepted because of your background, you know? So even if you do get a job and you do have money, you still can't get ahead in life, you know? You know?
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of people in your position might, having faced these challenges of re-entering after prison, might be going back to their old lifestyle.
A lot of people do.
Yeah.
They're like, all right, if you don't want me to run a business and you don't want to, you know, give me a loan, all these things, all right, I guess that's what I'll go back to do. How did you guys have the perseverance and the focus to say, I don't care what these challenges are, I'm never going back to that?
I know the support system was a huge benefit to all three of us. If we didn't have a good support system that was trying to make sure we didn't go back, then we might have ended up going back,
Probably.
you know, honestly.
What are we teaching our kids if we're out in the street? I don't want to show my kid how to be a drug dealer. I want to show my kid how to be a CEO.
I bet your kids wouldn't believe you when they tell you what this block used to be.
At all.
Nah, because it's not the same way that
Set the scene. What was it?
I mean, you just see junkies everywhere.
Junkies everywhere. You know what you would have saw 10 years ago? You would have saw people sleeping in that park. That's what you would have saw. You would have seen bums sleeping underneath the trash cans. That's what you would have seen. None of this stuff would have been here. Businesses wouldn't have been here. You know, there's a lot of things that are coming to this neighborhood that the people who really care about this neighborhood want, and we're just here to help bring those things in.
You guys are literally part of this neighborhood transformation. Like, you guys are changing this neighborhood.
That's the point.
That you remember, that you grew up in.
Yep.
For 10 years, you guys are doing different jobs. Some in the food industry, contractor, but basically like figuring it out, right?
Yeah.
Throughout this time, was the goal, I want to start something of my own?
So that's always been the goal. We just didn't know what it was. The what kind of materialized itself, and we just hopped on it. Me and Jarrette were general manager and assistant manager at a restaurant in New Brunswick. And Fritz was doing his contracting, but even we were bringing Fritz in to do contracting work on the restaurant. And in our little circle, it felt like we were owning that restaurant because we were doing so much work for it.
Right.
You know, putting so many hours into it.
But at the end of the day, it wasn't yours.
It wasn't. We would sit down with our little checks.
Yeah.
Be like, we're literally the owners of a restaurant. We're doing all those same tasks and not getting paid for it, not even getting recognized or thanked for all the extra stuff that we were doing.
You ever talk to kids and try to set them straight?
Yeah, I mean, we talked to the kids who come in here. You know, we've had little kids come here and try to steal stuff.
Really?
Instead of calling the police or, you know, putting a record on them like a lot of business owners might do in the same situation. We want to talk to them and here, take $1, sweep up, you know, do something constructive. There's other ways to get money. You don't have to steal it.
Absolutely.
You can get it yourself.
Okay, so you guys were personal trainers, right?
Yeah, me and Jarrette
These
were.
two, yep.
You guys are personal trainers, and that is where the inception of MacroBites came from.
Right, so we were already cooking like macro-based meals for our clients and making sure the macronutrients were in the right alignment transforming their bodies, making meal plans for them, all that good stuff.
Right.
We just didn't have a food business around it. You know, it was me in the apartment cooking stuff and just giving it to the clients.
So as you're training clients, they're seeing, okay, we like what you're eating.
Right.
You look like you're in shape. Could you make something for us?
We already had clients that already wanted the food, so we had a small customer base. I knew a bunch of gym owners and other people in the fitness industry because that's the industry I was in.
How do you go from making the meals in your apartment for just a few clients to what MacroBites is now?
So we had to, start cooking in a commercial kitchen to have a viable business. We were retailing the meals in the gyms from the owners that I knew that would say, all right, yeah, come on, put your meals in here. Let's see if it works out. And it worked out really well.
In terms of financials, you guys all pooled together your savings and sold stuff, right?
We sold all the stuff that we had, like all the valuable stuff. I sold my TV, piano, studio equipment. You sold a bunch of stuff. Fritz put his savings in. Yeah, because in the beginning we weren't making any money. Like we would get orders, money would come in, and then double that money would go out to make the order because we didn't know what we were doing with the numbers. So, you know.
How'd you guys learn it?
Trial and error.
Why'd you guys never give up?
Because it's not optional.
Honestly, because of our kids.
Yeah.
That's
Our
why
kids,
because of each other and because of, I think even past each other though, it's because of our kids.
And we can't pass down the job, you know? We can pass down our business to our kids. We can't pass down the job to them. So it wasn't, like when we come up against these hurdles, it isn't, are we gonna quit or keep going? It's how are we gonna keep going?
So this is the farm where you guys get your produce from. So how does the process work?
This is a community farm for the community. So people in Asbury can actually walk up to this farm and pick stuff and take it home with them when it's in bloom. So they actually put this here for the community.
So you guys now ship to 35 states.
Right.
How the hell did you do that?
I know we figured out how we could package the food, which is by vacuum sealing it, shrink wrapping it, and that whole process to where it will hold temp for 5 days. And you can ship anywhere in the continental United States in 5 days.
What made you guys decide to make healthy food?
It's the best way to provide value to the community. You know, there's fried chicken on every single corner. You know, when we talk about giving back and giving, you know, really trying to put our stamp on the world and what we're really trying to do out here, and the problem we're trying to solve, it's obesity, you know? If we could provide a healthier alternative to life, that's what it is to life.
And you guys are solving the problem in this neighborhood.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it didn't used to be like this, and we know we're ushering in the change here. And the fact that we're the only business like this here, like we're the only place that somebody who doesn't have a car can walk from the projects and get some fresh produce.
Right, because if they don't have a car, they can't make it out to Wegmans.
Yeah, exactly.
What are they gonna do? Go to 7-Eleven and get Funyuns?
Exactly. That's exactly what happens, and that's why that's why obesity and being unhealthy is concentrated in poor areas because poor people don't have options. We're giving poor people options now. So.
And now they can just walk in and get a beautiful, healthy grilled chicken, whole wheat penne.
That's really good.
Yeah,
and it tastes really good too.
Yeah. You guys have a ton of press.
We got a little bit.
Just a little bit.
You guys are professional interviewers at this point. MSNBC interview, Access Hollywood. What's the story of how you guys are now known around the country?
In our social media, I was sending out like, I guess what you would call a press kit, but it was really just kind of our story and, hey, repost this please. And a page called The Black Man Can, which has like 1 million followers, something like that, saw the story and reposted it. So after that, Asbury Park Press put that first article out, and then from there, that's where everything else came from.
So you guys really did an amazing job of becoming the guys in a different kind of way.
Yeah.
The right way.
And the right way.
Finally.
What's special about Asbury to you?
Because this is where we sold drugs at. This is where we did a bunch of dirt at. And now we're not doing dirt no more. We're giving back something good.
We have the opportunity to give back.
So,
We're selling something good, not something bad, not something
This is where we was raised. We got taught everything here.
You guys went from selling something, like giving people something bad, to giving people something that's healthy and that's going to help them.
Exactly.
Right.
And the fact that people don't expect us to be doing that. You know, statistically, we shouldn't be here, but we are anyway.
Right.
And that gives us a lot of motivation.
The thing too is, you know, we're legitimately apologize for our actions. You know, we feel bad, we feel remorse for our actions. So for us, it gives us all fulfillment to be able to be out here giving back in a healthy, positive way. It doesn't erase what we did, but it shows that we've grown into men and that we are really here to do this thing the right way. And we're super happy about that.
You guys are not letting your past define you.
Never.
You're almost rewriting history.
Yeah.
Because you're going back to the same place and you're selling something different.
Yep.
And it's almost poetic.
We are where we're headed, not where we've been. And that's what's important.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, you really do got the quotes.
Oh, sorry. I'm just talking freely.
He's good at that.
Wow. This is, I had a great time, but MacroBites is more than just, prepped meals, at least to me, and I think to you guys too. Like,
Definitely.
what this symbolizes is a chance for the future, a chance for change and transformation, and we know that we can do it.
Yeah.
And we know that we're gonna make it. We're gonna work as hard as we can to make MacroBites national, global.
Yeah.
It's coming soon. Yeah, it's coming soon, man.
Coming soon.
I know it's coming soon. I got no doubt, you guys.
Appreciate it, man.
Thank you guys.
Thank you, man. Appreciate your time.
Appreciate you, bro.
You got it. Let's do it again sometime.
This is the most chill interview